Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today we are going to talk about who I believe to be the top 10 outfitter options for the April 2025 edition of the Outfitter event. In this event, you will have the opportunity to get a new 5-star costume that you don't already have in exchange for gems. It is 300 gems for a legendary hero, 200 gems if you wanted to do an epic level hero, or 100 gems for a rare hero. I definitely recommend taking the opportunity to get a legendary hero costume. You will be able to get this costume in a 3-day event, which will be from April 28th through April 30th, and you can only get one costume. Before we dive into my top 10 list though, if you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and turn that notification bell on so you can be alerted of when I drop new content. And if you really love my channel, consider becoming a member, clicking the join button next to where it says subscribed, and you can get some information on the perks of becoming a member, including early access to videos like this, some cool avatars, and some other perks as well. Also, before we get into this, I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. The hero cards that I'm going to be showing are previews. There could have been some updates to some of these cards. I tried to find the most recent ones that I could. So most of these should be fairly accurate, and they're going to be the auto preview options from the game, which automatically take the talent path all the way to the left. So that will include the attack nodes on the bottom left for the masterclass emblem. So in a lot of these cases, you can get the shield considerably higher if you went the right side on the talent path and the masterclass emblem. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about some options that you could take if you don't have any of these, or if you just don't have a good option in general. But these are what I would consider to be the top 10 options. And if you've already got a hero maxed, double limit broken, or even single limit broken without the costume, and you have had that hero for a while, or maybe you got them during one of the Fated Summit events, that could be a really good option for you, because it's going to be like an instant upgrade with the costume bonus that you're going to be getting, and you'll have a new version of that card as well. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. We are going to start off at what I call number 11, or the honorable mention. We've got Guardian Panther here. This is Guardian Panther's costume. I do like the original version better, but let's take a look at the costume card here. First, you can see that she is fast mana speed, part of the Guardian family. Her class is Paladin, and her ether power is special armor. She does not have any passives, but for her special skill, she has the Roar of the Panther, deals 285% damage to all enemies. All enemies get minus 34% defense against dark for 3 turns, and all enemies are immune to new buffs for 3 turns. I definitely like the costume version better. This one may be better if you're looking for a defensive hero, if you don't have a dark hero for defense, but I do like the main version better for offense. The special skill is the Eye of the Panther, deals 210% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get minus 54% defense against dark for 4 turns, and dispels buffs from the target and nearby enemies. So she's going to deal 210% damage to 3 enemies, is going to give those 3 enemies minus 54% defense against dark for 4 turns, and is going to dispel buffs from the target and nearby enemies. Definitely a very good option if you're looking to increase the stats of your dark elemental defense down hero, if this is who you use, and it will definitely make her much more usable during wars, also with that costume bonus. All right, moving on to actual number 10, we have somebody new this time around compared to the last Outfitter event. We've got costumed Evelyn. She was a hero of the month in 2018. Her mana speed is fast, her class is rogue, and her ether power is special boost. She does have a passive, which is cleanse on special skill. When this character casts their special skill, they cleanse the newest status ailment from all allies. And then for her special skill, the War Cry of the Hunt, deals 280% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get minus 56% defense against nature for 4 turns, dispels buffs from the target and nearby enemies, and then gives an elemental link that recovers 4% health for all nature allies for 6 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. Her regular main version has the elemental defense down already. Her costume version really isn't that much different than her main version, but getting this stat boost is definitely going to be a big plus if you don't have a better option other than Evelyn. All right, so I've gotten a couple of the elemental defense down heroes out of the way. We will have one more to talk about later, which I'm sure you all know who that is, but I'm going to be talking quite a bit about mana control heroes or heroes that can limit the enemy specials. With the way the game is going, when you have the ability to limit enemy specials or neutralize an enemy special, especially the tank, it really makes controlling the battle that much easier. So this may surprise some people. At number 9, I have Queen of Hearts. She is from the Wonderland family. Her mana speed is average, her class is cleric, and her ether power is boosted regen. For her passive, she has mindless attack on special skill. When this character casts their special skill, they have a 50% chance to give mindless attack for 3 turns to a random enemy. And then for her special skill, Loving Queen, she will deal 200% damage to the target and nearby enemies, will summon a playing card minion with 25% health and 40% attack inherited from the caster. When summoned, the playing card minion gives taunt for its owner for as long as the owner has playing card minions. This effect cannot be dispelled. The caster then gets plus 74% defense against special skills for 4 turns. So if you are using Queen of Hearts on offense, having the taunt plus the plus 74% defense against special skills for 4 turns is really going to make it difficult for the enemies to do damage against you. It's really just going to be that small percentage of attack from the special skills and then those random attacks at the end of each turn. And if you have other minion summoning heroes, especially ones that give defense up, like somebody like Hulda, then you're going to be able to make it so that there's an extra buffer before the playing card minion gets removed. And it's also going to add defense up if you have one of those types of heroes that has those minions. So if you have the right heroes, I really feel like Queen of Hearts could be extremely beneficial. Moving on to number 8, we've got another taunter. We've got Krampus. He is part of the Winter family. Mana speed is average, class is barbarian, and ether power is dodge. We are going to look at his costume version, and we're also going to look at his regular base version as well, because I do like the regular version better. But for his special skill on the costume version, he has the Merriest Misery. He will summon an elf minion for each ally with 10% health and 10% attack inherited from the caster. The caster gets taunt that prevents enemies from using special skills on the caster's allies for 3 turns. The caster gets plus 30% defense for 3 turns, and all allies get plus 45% attack and a further 20% increase every time they are hit during 3 turns. For the regular base version, it's a sorcerer class. The ether power is taunt, so he's going to start off with taunt for 3 turns, and then he's going to summon an elf minion for each ally with 10% health and 10% attack inherited from the caster. The caster gets taunt for 3 turns, and then the caster gets plus 44% defense and a further 10% increase every time they are hit for 3 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. All allies get plus 50% attack for 3 turns. So I do like this version better because of the auto taunt at the beginning, and then the defense up is higher for this version also. Out of all the cards that we're going to talk about today, I actually believe that Krampus has the highest individual power at 1377, so definitely a really good hero there also. Moving on to number 7, we've got Athena. She was a hero of the month in 2017. Her mana speed is average, her class is barbarian, and her ether power is special boost. For her passive, she has the dispel on special skill. When this character casts their special skill, they dispel the newest status effect buff from all enemies. And then for her special skill, Athena's Arrow, she's going to deal 320% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get minus 41% defense and a further minus 4% decrease every time they are hit for 3 turns. All fire enemies get minus 34% defense against ice for 3 turns, and she's going to give an elemental link that gives all ice allies plus 15% attack and plus 15% defense for 6 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. Costume Athena is a monster for Titans and for Mythic Titans. She's also extremely useful for regular wars also, but Titans and Mythic Titans is really where she shines because of the fact that she has the highest defense down in the game. Definitely a great hero and a great option in this outfitter event if you don't already have her costume. I think I had her higher in the last ranking video I did in December for the previous outfitter event, but this time around I wanted to look at heroes that were a little bit more versatile for wars and stuff like that, since a lot of people like to have deeper rosters, obviously. So she definitely could be higher. Very useful hero, and somebody you definitely want to get a costume for if you don't have any other better options. All right, moving on to number 6, we are going to stay with the 2017 Hero of the Month. We have Perseus. He is fast mana speed, class is fighter, ether power is defense up. He has the same passive with the dispel on special skill, where when this character casts their special skill, they dispel the newest status effect buff from all enemies. And then for his special skill, the Arctic Wound, he's going to deal 405% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get minus 100% a decrease of any healing received for 4 turns. This effect cannot be cleansed. The target and nearby enemies get minus 68% defense against ice for 4 turns, and he's going to give an elemental link that gives plus 10% mana generation for all ice allies for 4 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. So he's going to deal 405% damage to 3 enemies, make it so those 3 enemies cannot get any healing for 4 turns, and makes it so that they get minus 68% defense against ice for 4 turns, plus the elemental link. But that is a lot of stuff going on in a fast mana speed special, in my opinion, and that is why we have Perseus ranked so high at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we've got Alfrey. Alfrey is part of the Valhalla family. She is very slow mana speed. Her class is Paladin, and her ether power is Ailment Immunity. And the Ailment Immunity is extremely useful because you are more than likely going to be using her in Rush War on offense. Depending on the level of play that you have, you may use her as a tank in Rush War on defense also. And if you are, because of that Ailment Immunity, she's not going to be able to get mindless attack or be silenced or any of those other weird types of ailments that prevent Alfrey from using her special. So that's definitely very useful. And for her special skill, the Cavalier Hat of Dark Realm, she's going to deal 240% damage to hit targets. She is going to cast 5 dark cubes to random enemies. The dark cube reduces max health from the target by 184. This effect is stronger against targets with boosted health. Max health cannot get lower than 30% of the original max health. Any boosted health is reduced by an additional 184. And then enemies hit automatically cast a mindless attack on a random ally when mana is full during 3 turns. So she's going to cast these 5 dark cubes to random enemies. Anyone who gets hit is going to get mindless attack. Normally those cubes hit at least 3 or 4 different enemies. She was extremely annoying to go up against in Rush War for the longest time. Definitely can still be very useful on offense. And honestly, even though her total individual power is not that high compared to the newer heroes that are coming out, you can see she has 1495 shield. Now remember, this is if you went on the talent path all the way to the left. So there are 3 defense nodes in the masterclass emblems that you could take, which would increase her defense by 180 just on those. There's probably another 1 or 2 defense nodes on the right hand side of the regular talent path, so you could probably get her defense up over 1700, honestly, considering the fact her individual power is 1282. That's a pretty good defense, honestly. Great hero, and that is why we have her at number 5. Coming in at number 4, this is going to be somebody that I think surprises a lot of people. I've got costume Lepiota. She is, of course, part of the Underwild family. Her mana speed is fast, her class is wizard, and her ether power is special armor. She has 2 passives. The first is special skill damage reduction. Received damage is reduced by minus 20% for the first 3 times this character receives damage from special skills. And then she has a second passive that boosts health on special skill. When this character casts their special skill, they boost the health of all their allies by 10%. And then for her actual special, this is a long one, the Undying Incantation, she's going to deal 150% damage to the target, casts full removal on the target. Full removal removes all status effects, stacks, and growth and wither effects, removes even status effects and stacks that are otherwise undispellable or uncleansable. The target shifts into Abyss Ghost form for 4 turns. While in Abyss Ghost form, the target receives 174 damage each turn. While in Ghost form, the character cannot gain mana and cannot be healed by special skills, but it is immune to normal attacks, damage dealing passives, status effects, and stacks. It is also immune to new growth and wither effects. Cannot be cast if there's only 1 enemy left in the battle. So Lepiota is going to be able to cast this Abyss Ghost form to somebody in just 7 tiles because of the fact that she's fast mana speed, has the costume bonus with the 5% mana, and then so long as you have at least 10% more mana increase from one of your troops, then she's going to be able to get her special in 7 tiles. The more heroes that you can activate their specials in 5, 6, or 7 tiles that have the ability to neutralize a tank makes the battles that much easier, and that is why I've got Lepiota this high at number 4, because she can definitely be a very good controller of the match because of her ability to basically take out a hero for 4 turns on the defense. Great hero, definitely somebody you would also want to go the defense path on. Her defense is not going to be as high as Alfrey. She's got 1263 shield here, so you could probably get that defense somewhere around 1350 or 1400 or so. Definitely a great hero and somebody you would only want to use on offense, obviously. Coming in at number 3, I've got Callervo. Callervo is from the Callervo family. His mana speed is average, class is fighter, and ether power is rage. For his passive, the power of Sisu. When this character starts a turn with low health for the first time during a battle, they recover 15% health and receive 15% mana. His special skill is the Cunning Knife, deals 450% damage to the target, deals 320% damage to a random different enemy. Enemies hit automatically cast mindless attack on a random ally when mana is full at the start of the turn during 4 turns. Against dark characters, this status effect becomes uncleansable and lasts 1 turn longer. The cool thing about his passive and him being a fighter class also is that each time he revives, he's going to get that 15% health on top and that 15% mana also. So that's definitely cool, and he's going to be able to cast that mindless attack on 2 enemies. One of them you'll be able to choose, and then the other one's obviously going to be random. I do not have Callervo. I wish I did. If I did, I probably would choose him in this outfitter event, honestly, because I've got the number 1 and 2 on my list already. Definitely a great hero though, and if you do have his regular card, especially if you've already got that maxed and limit broken, I would definitely consider Callervo. Coming in at number 2, we've got Guardian Gazelle. She is part of the Guardian family. Her mana speed is average and her class is fighter. She's also got the ether power heal increase. Definitely not the best of ether powers, but it is what it is there. She does not have any passives, and for her special skill, the Bandalora Dance removes all status effects from all allies except the caster, removes even status effects that are otherwise undispellable or uncleansable, recovers 48% health for all allies, and then for 4 turns, all allies except the caster start dancing to the Dance of Spirits. With the Dance of Spirits, each of those 4 allies are going to get plus 110% attack, reduces all received damage by minus 30%, gives immunity to new status effects, and then if the caster dies, the dancer receives 100 damage and their mana is reduced by 100%. This effect cannot be dispelled, but it gets removed if the caster dies. So obviously you do not want Guardian Gazelle dying during the dancing, but she is a great way to resist paintings from Bernadette, any other random weird negative ailments that any of the enemies are going to give. Obviously she is going to be susceptible to getting those ailments, but the rest of your 4 allies will not. Guardian Gazelle is a great hero, definitely somebody you want on your roster, and the costume for if you've already got her. Her regular version of her card was available in the last Fated Summon, so a lot of people have her already. So if you do, and if you've leveled her up, then you would definitely want to consider getting her costume in this outfitter event. All right, coming in at number 1, we've got Lord Loki. Probably no surprise to anybody. He is part of the Jotunheim family, which is part of Season 3 Valhalla. His mana speed is average, class is sorcerer, and his ether power is special boost. He does not have a passive, but for his special skill, the Shapeshifter's Deception, copies all dispellable buffs from the target, copies target's special skill, and uses it in addition to the caster's own special skill. If the target does not have a special skill or it can't be copied, the following special skill will be cast, which is the Scoundrel Swing, which just deals 265% damage to the target. Obviously, you do not want to copy somebody's special that cannot be copied, but you know whose special is available to be copied is Bernadette, and that's probably the most common enemy that gets their special skill copied, and the fact that he's blue on top of it and him being strong against Bernadette. I have Costume Lord Loki double limit broken, and he is a monster against her. I usually like to use Oni Wakamaru as the setup for Lord Loki because Oni Wakamaru gets his special in just 5 tiles, so he casts Undispellable Taunt on himself, and then he usually will take that that first effect from Bernadette if she's able to go off before Lord Loki. There's also a lot of other good heroes that you could use as the setup person for Lord Loki in case if you're not able to get 9 blue tiles before Bernadette, but using him against her is extremely useful. And just the fact that he can literally copy anybody's special in the game at average speed. Obviously, generally you'd want to copy a slow hero probably, but there's also obviously a lot of good average speed specials also. The other cool thing about Lord Loki is that you can bring him into battle not knowing if you want to use him as a healer or as an attacker, and then based on how the battle's going, you can use him to heal if you need to heal, or you can use him to attack and maybe get a mega minion from a hero that has a special that casts a mega minion. That's definitely useful also. So these are who I would consider to be the top 10 outfitter options in the April 2025 outfitter event. There's definitely a lot of other great options also. Costume Hell was somebody who was originally on my list, but I had to take her off. I actually have Costume Hell. With the level of play that I am at a top 100 alliance, she was barely doing any damage to enemies. I think it was like 400 or 500 at the most. So I do not use her at all anymore and took her off this top 10 list because I just felt like her special was too weak. But again, depending on your level of play, if you're in a more of a mid-level or lower alliance, then she could definitely be really good for you because her stealing of mana with her costume is extremely useful and a lot of fun to use. Some other good options would be Mother North if you have her, Lady of the Lake, Heimdall, Tarlak. There's definitely a lot of great options, and like I said earlier in the video, if you've already got somebody maxed and they have a costume that you don't have at this point, then more than likely they're going to be a good option for you if you use them already, because it's going to basically give you an instant increase. If you don't have anybody available for the costume outfitter event, but you do have season 1 heroes, then it could be an option for you just to grab a costume for one of those season 1 heroes. The tunes are not available yet, but they will be available starting with the next outfitter event more than likely based on when the tune costumes came out. They started coming out, I believe, in December of 2023 or January of 2024. So we're coming up on 18 months when they would have come out, but obviously they slow rolled them about 2 per month. So it kind of depends on which season 1 hero it is. But I would definitely recommend taking somebody, even if it is just a season 1 hero. Let me know who you all are thinking about taking in this April 2025 outfitter event. And if you're looking for a recommendation on who you should take, drop a comment down below. Let me know who your options are, and I would love to give my opinion. But that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it or found it helpful. And if you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're subbed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.